Action.
Smoking. Friends, I gotta tell you, there's something that's been weighing heavy on my mind here of late. When I look at the world and how things seem to be spinning out of control, and I kind of started to think, what would I do if I were the devil? And I came up with a few things, and this is what they are. If I were the devil, if I were the Prince of Darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness. I'd have 1/3 of its real estate and 4/5 of its population. But I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree, thee. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible's a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what is bad is good, and what is good is square. The old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. Then I'd get organized. I would educate authors in how to make literature exciting, so that everything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I would threaten television with dirtier movies and vice versa. I would peddle narcotics to whom I could. I would sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I would tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I would soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with the promise of higher ratings, I would have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would have schools refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild, until before you knew it, you would have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Why, within 10 years, I would have prisons overflowing. I would have judges promoting pornography, and soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, then from the houses of Congress. Why, in his own church, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. If I were the devil, I would have priests and pastors misusing boys, girls, and church money. If I were the devil, I would make the symbol of Easter an egg, and the symbol of Christmas a tree. If I were the devil, I would take from those who have and give it to those who want it until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. And what do you want to bet? that I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. If I were the devil, I would convince young people that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. And thus, I could undress you in public. I could lure you into beds with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I would keep right on doing just what it is that he's doing. Somebody stop me!